All right.
We talking?
Eric Young, first base coach, Atlanta Braves. He's going to let you into the world of a first base coach and what it's like during a game. Anyway, what happens? I get a hit, I get a walk.
Okay, you get a hit. Okay, first of all, you give me some love.
Okay.
You know, we got to celebrate that. Celebrate the
give me my
moments.
body armor.
You give me all that. Yeah, you give me all that. That's true. And then, you know, we pick up the signs, know the situation, know how many outs there are. But the main thing, especially if you're a base stealer, there's a lot of language going over here, codes and that we use each and every time a guy gets on first base that is capable of stealing the base. So for the sake of you, we're going to use the word fan.
Okay.
That's your key word. If you get that word, that means if I was you, I would take that bag so that people and the viewers know that we don't force anybody to run. I'm still in the base over here with you. And if I was you, I was still in that particular base. Most of the time I'll be quiet, but most of the time if I think, you know, the situations where I really probably want you to go, I'll say your code word.
How much information compared to when you played? Him to home, pop times, all of that stuff is obviously, you know beforehand who a base stealer is on a given day, maybe because of the setup of pitcher and catcher. You might have a couple of more guys because it's in your favor. You might have a couple of fewer guys because it's not working. He's quick, that guy's quicker.
Well, if you get both of them quick, that's a no-go.
Okay.
We're not running on that. Most of the time, slide steps, that's a red, cold red. We're not running on that. However, there's situations where now I could break down the pitcher, give the keys to the guys. They go watch a lot of video themselves to see which key is good for them, because what I see, they may not see it, or they may see something quicker to get their key, get their jump. So they do a lot of video watching and breaking down the pitcher. Then we'll look at the catcher, see if he has a strong arm, average arm, accurate arm. So we take all those things into account. And the main thing, you don't want to make outside, especially when you got a lineup with Freddie Freeman, those guys coming up. You know, we try to get on base and get in scoring position. So we want to be efficient in our stolen bases.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I'm going to take a lead. I'm going to ask you about your career as a base stealer in a second, but I'm off. My goal is to never make, if I'm thinking about this too much instead of that, I'm in trouble.
Well, that's a key question. You know, we talk about thieves. You know, thieves always think about the prize down there. They don't think about getting caught or where they started from. So we always want guys to get a comfortable lead, where they're comfortable to get back with ease, but not thinking about getting back.
Do you preach this corner if I'm coming back?
Yes, I treat the outside corner because a lot of guys, first basemen, you know, you want them to have a long way to tag you. You know, you get guys sliding here, that's a quick tag. So we don't want that. We want them to stretch so it gives you time to get back.
What about the guy who's got the glove in the other hand?
Oh, we definitely will still want to go to the bat because he has to catch it. You know, you see guys now, pitchers throwing in that space now so they can catch it there.
Yep.
We want to always go back to the back end. We want to slide to the back end. Unless the throw is up the line, then you go to the inside part of the bag.
So how much do I care about, you mentioned Freddie, what kind of relationship do I have to have with count he's comfortable? I probably, if it's not guess, educated guess on pitch selection along with you.
Well, a lot of times with Freddie up, you know, our big guys like that, you don't want to be moving too much. You want him to solely concentrate on that ball, which he's always doing that anyway. However, we don't want to get in a situation where we get thrown out. Now they have more room to cover, and these guys, we want to leave them out of position a little bit. So we take our time and really pinpoint a particular pitch maybe that we know the pitcher's probably going to throw some off speed in the dirt to Freddie, but pretty much we're going to let him hit. We're going to sit and let him hit.
So first step, never a crossover.
Yeah, when you're taking your lead, you know, you never want to cross over. So you start with your left, then you turn around, then you take your shuffle, a couple of shuffles, and then you get somewhere comfortable. That's our pre-lead. And then once the pitcher comes set, some guys get a little bit more, depending on if you're a base stealer or not. The slow guy is going to stay right there, okay? So that's pretty much what they do in the lead. Now, when a guy is taking their secondary, you want to stay low. So you want to, it's a little shuffle like that. Sometimes you get guys like this, and they're not ready when that ball is hit.
It's almost like hitting. If you're not locked and loaded, you can't be locked and loaded to run up top.
That's right. You can't. Now, a tall guy, even if he's tall, he can stand up here, but his shuffle is a little bend in those legs because once that ball is hit, you want to be ready to go.
Right.
You know?
What's your word? Pop up. Guys going, pop up.
Up, 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 up. Sometimes I say, pick up wash. You know, so they hear that and they look at wash right quick. But most of the time when it's up over here, I don't want them to go, up, get back, up, get back. So it's a lot of little things, little language, you know, or I just say back. If I know it's like right out of the line, I say back.
There's nothing else to do but go.
Just
all right,
go. Okay.
Shift. You got somebody playing behind second. How much does that affect green lights now that guy doesn't have to do anything?
No, that we don't worry about that. We don't worry about it.
We got to steal.
We got to steal. If you got a chance to steal, you can steal because that's not what you're worried about. You only worry about your key. And if you get a good jump, you steal. If you don't have any keys, you stay.
Okay. Balks. How often does it really look? The rule is what it is. It's an interpretation. How often will you tell an umpire? You got to give me one or keep an eye on. How's that work?
If there's a pitcher that has a little balk move, I will alert the first base coach. First base umpire. However, very rarely they call balks unless it's really blatant. So I try not to get that in the guy's head. That's something I'll do without them even knowing, because I don't want them focusing on that.
Well, because you might get a cheat back this way.
Exactly.
And you got to be aggressive.
I want them thinking that way.
Best pitcher-catcher combination you ever tried to run against? Let's start with the pitcher. Best move.
It was Andy Pettit.
Okay.
Back in the day. He did the same thing, and most of the time, especially for a lefty, they do something different. He was pretty consistent in being the same way. Righty? Only the one that was like 1-1, 1-2 to home plate. That's the only ones that really scared me. I didn't go, especially if you had a catcher that was accurate. Right. I think the catcher that I would say the one I wanted to go up against, that was Pudge.
Yeah. So that's the one-on-one matchup
that's the one-on-one
matchup. A guy
matchup
like you thinks about.
Yeah, me and Pudge started in A-ball down the Florida State League. So, and we used to have a thing. You know, I used to come up my first at bat and say, "Hey, how your arm feeling?" I said, "It feels good." How the legs feel? I said, "It feels great. It's on." We would say something like that to each other. So it was a challenge each time. We knew if I got on, it's on. And that was like a one-on-one personal matchup.
One for me. That's one of those days you go, I got the notch on my belt today. I'll see you the next time.
Oh, no. We used to go, I would get second. He'd blow me up at third.
So
I gave him a chance. You know?
Hey, listen, I'm ahead. I'm going to push my chips back in the middle of the table. Let's see what happens. The idea of taking walks now, it's a strikeout home run world. We know that.
Yeah.
Your world was, I need the first 90 feet. Are you okay with approach these days?
As far as hitters?
Well, hitters.
I don't concern with that. I don't. When they get here, then that's when really.
That's your business.
That's my business right here.
But what if they're not getting here enough?
Well, you know, I put my arm around them and say, "I'd love to see you one day. You know, come and see me now."
Right. Introduce yourself. Again.
You know,
reintroduce yourself.
Stop making that U-turn, baby. We need to make that turn.
Right.
To second. So, but no, I don't get involved with the hitting. You know, because I know it's really tough to hit in the major league level each and every night. So, I'm just happy when they get over here, because now I get on TV.
Right.
Okay, because you know I get on camera and everything, say hi, and then you know, really get into. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. I love the challenge of stealing the base. I love the challenge of moving guys around where they can score runs, you know. And we doing that, we making it exciting, we're going to win a lot of ball games.
You can't score a run unless you hit this one first.
That's true, but we got some pretty good guys that can get on base. That's what I'm happy about.
All right. Thanks very
much.
Good?
That's
Eric Young.
So we didn't do no lead, but you get your code.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, let's get your lead, you know.
Get interactive.
So, okay, so you get your. All
right.
You get your lead.
I'm one step off.
Black. Now you ready, right? We got his key. We like to count. Fan. As soon as he go, you know in that particular instance, you got a chance to go. If I was you, it's not to force you to run.
Right.
If I was you, this is a good time to run.
First base playing behind. How much more can I really get?
Depends. If he's close, you stay close.
But am I right in front of him? I know the distance. I can get back better than him. See him here or see him here?
Okay, so if he's here.
If he's off.
Yeah. You just got to know he's right here, that when you take your secondary, he's going to slide up here. So you got to be leery of that. So you can't take a strong secondary.
Right.
If he's back and you quick enough, just know when you take your secondary, you got to break back. If it gets, because they looking at each other.
And some of those guys don't mind showing.
Let me tell you something. I had a catcher. It happened. The catcher, I looked at the catcher. The catcher told me he was looking down here at first base. He's about to throw it down there. And he pointed. So I alert the base runner. It was a pitcher. And do you know 2 pitches later, he picked them off? So I don't take anything for granted, and I tell these guys, look, I mean, I got the obvious look, because I look for things
So that man
like
called
that.
a shot.
He looked at me, he saw the guy putting his head down. Throw it back, pointed to first base. I went up to him, I said, and I did like this, I said, 2 pitches later, whap, whap, whap. He was out.
Right back to the dugout. And by the way,
And the player apologized. He said, E, I know, you just told me. And that was, it's not only his mistake, I feel like it's my mistake too. Because maybe I didn't emphasize a little stronger that, and it's one of the best catchers in the games right now, National League. He did that, and maybe I didn't emphasize enough. So sometimes I really have to, you see me talking to the guys, there's sometimes I'm emphasizing a little bit more than others. And especially when you have a catcher that likes to throw the ball around.
last one. If a guy does get thrown out, and you weren't necessarily happy with the decision,
We'll talk about it the next day.
next day.
I try not to interfere.
Okay.
You know, because I know he's mad because he's got caught. My main concern is finding out, was there something we could have did better?
Right.
And I'll be the first one to go in the video, and then I will call him the next day, and we'll talk about it.
Watch calls it cause and symptom.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell me, I know what happened. We got to figure out why it happened.
Why it happened. That's my only concern, you know, because I still want you to
Yeah,
stay
right.
aggressive, and especially with our young players, we want to make sure that, hey, don't worry about it. You're going to make mistakes, and but we want to see what happens so we won't make that same mistake.
New Brunswick strong right here.
Yes. You're
Appreciate
welcome,
it.
brother.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Yes.